No, you're not imagining it. And no, you're not alone. We're tired. Tired of the online meetings. Tired of asking, when will this all be over? Tired of the arguing, who's right and who's wrong. Now's the time to reconnect as neighbors and grow as communities. As we get back to what we know is normal. You need someone who will always tell you the truth, will always be there. A team you can count on.
And thank you for joining us.
Count on KRK4, local news that matters.
We have a new severe thunderstorm warning.
So we're going to be watching these storms making their way in time.
Warning until 4:30.
The Arkansas Storm Team is there, keeping you safe.
If you have a storm shelter, get in that right now.
Count on the Arkansas Storm Team on KARK.
The roof failed just around 2 o'clock this morning. Water started coming through the entire hotel. Ceiling tiles started dropping off. And that's just the water. I mean, I have never been in a storm that actually had me concerned for my safety.
It was a fierce night of damaging winds and a big storm surge for southwest Louisiana. And with daybreak, we're getting the first look at some of the damage that occurred during the overnight hours during the peak of Hurricane Laura's eye wall moving through the Guy area. You folks need to be in your safe place right away. The storm will likely track at this point over or near the Guy area and then continue off to the northeast. And so for the Quitman area, now that you're under that new tornado warning, you need to be moving to your safe location.
Some of the worst damage that we're seeing in North Little Rock, you can see this is what's left of a massive tree that fell on top of their home. The trunk is down there. You can see crews are now still trying to clear off any limbs and debris that's still on the roof there.
Dangerously cold weather.
When record-breaking winter weather hits the natural state,
12 to as much as 18 inches of snow.
we have you covered.
We saw multiple cars get stuck.
You may just want to go on foot.
Well, now we took a ride along.
On air,
Traffic there for about 10 miles.
online,
What happened on the interstate this morning?
streaming live throughout the day.
Conditions on each one are very different.
For coverage you can count on, turn to us.
A lot of snow melting going on and much milder temperatures.
The Arkansas Storm Team and KARK4.
This is a winter weather alert from the Arkansas Storm Team.
We're looking at a dangerous area of very heavy snow that has developed across parts of southeast Arkansas from Fordyce over towards the Pine Bluff area, where snowfall rates could get up to about 2 inches per hour, as well as near zero visibility at times.
We want to show you the current road conditions where we are. This is 6th Street in downtown Little Rock, and if you were to drive on this, you wouldn't know where exactly to go because that's how much snow is out here on these roads. For me, I couldn't even drive my personal car into work today, and several other people are having that same issue. But tonight we ran into 2 men who say they're able to drive on these roads, so they want to do some good. Armed with a 1987 Bronco.
You know, obviously this thing's unstoppable in the snow, so y'all got it.
And its passenger, Ryan Campbell, Justin Root is on a mission to help people in need around town.
I know how it feels to be stuck in the house, so I was like, well, hey, if I can get someone out and, you know, help them get to the doctor, help them get to work, something like that, it's good to go.
Root made this post on Facebook Monday, and since then, he's kicked it into high gear, helping people get to where they need to go safely and free of charge.
Justin, did you ever think you would see this type of weather here?
No, that's why I moved down here, was to get away from this.
I didn't know how I was going to get to work, so I'm very happy.
Thanks to Root and Campbell, people like Kara Phillips, a resident at UAMS, can catch a free ride to work.
I've gotten calls at night, and so, you know, patient care doesn't stop. You got to be there. We appreciate you, Justin.
Even without the snow.
That's what makes it hard is the ice.
The journey home is long.
We live on one of the steepest hills in the village.
For the last 3 years, Destiny Rogers has battled a rare disorder. Hooked up to a port and IV, stuck in her Hot Springs Village home.
So that's what this is. I'm just getting my daily fluids.
So when the winter storm blasted the village, she worried her nurse, Patsy Lewis, wouldn't make it from Benton up the hill.
I could wind up in the hospital so fast if Patsy doesn't do these visits.
The area recording 11 inches of snow on Monday. But that didn't stop Nurse Patsy and husband Jay from getting to her patients.
And that's when I told Patsy, my wife, I said, well, the only way to get up there is get the hiking boots out and hike up the hill.
We're starting from down there at the bottom.
Trekking through nearly a mile of snow after their truck got stuck. The two finally made it to Destiny's home, continuing treatment as they always do.
I made it up there. I was going to make it up there to see her no matter what. So I would say I don't believe it, but I do because it's Patsy. Patsy's one of the most selfless people that I know.
As this continues, we're likely to have regular updates to you.
Our job as news reporters and as news stations is to give you the facts.
Stop the spread.
The facts only. We do not want to spread fear. We do not want to spread misinformation or rumors. Our job is to report to you the facts. And so far,
now, we have gotten word just recently that from a Northwest Arkansas spokesperson of Arkansas Children's Hospital that the Little Rock branch of Arkansas Children's Hospital has come up with a presumptive positive test for the novel coronavirus.
Well, Donna, Kevin, good evening to you. That's exactly right. People are not playing around when it comes to COVID-19. Household items like Clorox wipes, hand sanitizer, soap, and even toilet tissue are flying off the shelves because of the coronavirus. The state had its first presumptive case today, and people are just making sure they're prepared for what's next.
KRK had the unique opportunity to visit the COVID floor of Conway Regional. Our Cassandra Webb joining us live from the hospital tonight. And Cassandra, we've heard so much about COVID over the last several months, but very few have had a chance to see what's actually going on. So what did you see and learn today?
Laura, so I learned a lot, but more importantly, it's what I felt. When you go onto the COVID floor of Conway Regional, you get an overwhelming sense of sadness. It's ominous. It's real, and it's scary. And I was able to talk to frontline nurses, and they say until you've experienced something, you just don't understand. So take a look. In full PPE, we went to the COVID floor at Conway Regional.
They're not going to understand it until you get on the floor.
And when you get there, you understand.
When you walk onto the unit, it's a completely different feel than it is anywhere else in the hospital.
Patients' doors are left closed, and supplies are in the hallway in order to avoid contamination. Negative pressure machines inside the rooms filter the air.
All the time.
For Nurse Mallory Kunkel, the hardest part is the loneliness.
It's heart-wrenching to watch your patients be in a room by themselves all day with a really loud machine.
The hospital installed cameras so nurses can keep watch on their patients.
They're just lonely, and we watch a lot of our older patients become really depressed.
Nurse Haley Duncan normally works in oncology. She says the teamwork is what helps them get by.
We are all leaning on each other to get through this.
Her initial fears for herself and her family's safety have turned into what she says is a calling.
My big fear is my patients and how the world is trending right now.
In this time of crisis and confusion about COVID-19, Arkansas Governor Asa Hutchinson sits down to answer your questions. A virtual town hall to help calm fears and ease concerns. Now, live with Governor Asa Hutchinson.
Tonight, this is your chance to get answers to all of your questions about how this is affecting our health, our economies, our schools, and of course, we want to know what's next.
And we want to welcome our guest this evening. Governor Asa Hutchinson is here with the #1 doctor in the state, Dr. Nate Smith, Director and State Health Officer for the Department of Health. Gentlemen, thank you very much for being here.
Social distancing. We all need to do a better job at it. Staying in your own space, that's the goal. But what does that look like, especially when you're around other people? Well, the rule of thumb is 6 feet minimum, which is about the length of this entire stick. If we all adhere to this simple principle, we'll get through it a lot faster.
We know these times of uncertainty can be unsettling, and with the upcoming school year set to start, we're here with everything you need every morning on KARK4 Today.
And throughout the day in all of our newscasts. Whether your child will be going on-site or learning virtually, we will share the most up-to-date plans or changes from districts across Arkansas.
Morning, noon, and night. The health and safety of your family matters to us. As we make our way through this pandemic, you can count on KRK4 News.
Thank you for joining us, everyone, for this special presentation. Coronavirus concerns reopening schools in Arkansas. Governor Asa Hutchinson closed campuses to 470,000 students in March when COVID-19 made its way to the state. Now, almost 5 months later, teachers, students, and parents getting ready to enter the classroom once again this fall. We've got a all-star panel, you could say. Joining us now for this conversation this evening, Johnny Key, Arkansas Education Commissioner, Dr. Jennifer Dillahay with the State Health Department, Carol Fleming, President of Arkansas Education Association, Teresa Knapp Gordon, Little Rock Education Association President, Dr. Charles McNulty, Superintendent of the Pulaski County Special School District, and Michael Poore, Superintendent of the Little Rock School District. Now that the introductions are done, perhaps we've got a few minutes to tackle the issue of school opening up.
This is a KARK4 Fox 16 special. Coronavirus in Arkansas, 1 year later. In almost every way, the coronavirus has touched all of our lives.
There are shelves that are just totally empty. Water's almost totally gone.
Starting with patient 0 on day 1.
Arkansas dealing with its first presumptive case of the virus.
But like I told you, it's going to be okay.
Executive order declaring a public health emergency.
Arkansans masked up.
That I am issuing a statewide mandate for face coverings.
To the tune of a new motto.
Wash your hands frequently.
And pivoted to a new way of life, although socially distanced.
Many reports of the increasing need.
We fought together.
And I'm going to take care of a patient, whether they have a cold or whether they have COVID.
And after 365 days of COVID in the natural state,
we're back open.
We look toward the hope that this global pandemic can end.
Hang in there, okay?
Some way, somehow, we'll get through.
And that we will come out on the other side better, together.
Good evening, and thank you for joining us. I'm Bob Clausen.
And I'm Laura Monteverdi. Tonight, we honor those who have bravely fought to protect us as the coronavirus spread from city to city, touching each of our families.
It just took something out of my heart that will never be replaced.
How am I going to tell my 6-year-old little girl about this? I just didn't want to believe it.
We all need to get serious and come together, all communities, in order to get this stuff under control.
Help Arkansas
declare victory
over violence.
This week has been a challenging week. It started out, on Saturday with the news of a 10-year-old girl getting shot at a park in Little Rock, and Jayla Hughes is her name. She was there with her family, people got in a fight and gunshots started, and she ended up getting shot and ended up dying. So
yeah, again, our prayers go out to the Hughes family. And then of course we just had a shooting last night of another female, unfortunately, that was dropped off at the hospital. I mean, this is all the shootings that took place in Atlanta, 8 people murdered there last night. It's just on and on and on. And it's just, we got to do something about this.
And actually this video we're showing right now is video from, pretty much the last 4 shootings that have happened here in the Little Rock area. So, we had one at the Chuck E. Cheese last week, and
right.
Then there was one at the Embassy Suites parking lot hotel the same night as the 10-year-old girl was shot. So
right.
Here we are again, and we want to try to find solutions. That's the whole point of the show, is to try to find solutions to this.
I wouldn't be where I am today. I might have been dead if it hadn't been for him.
An Arkansas woman fighting back tears as she talks about how a North Little Rock nonprofit changed her life. Hand Up Housing has helped shelter 135 homeless people in the past 10 years.
As Ashley King explains, that's why Rainwater Holt and Sexton is giving them the Difference Makers Award.
Melissa Walton is proud to show off her house. She lives here with 2 of her sisters. Her third sister, Santa Walton, lives next door. For these sisters, having a roof over their head is life-changing.
I just was tired of the sleeping on the floor and just tired of the being unstable, because when you have kids, you should be stable.
Thanks to Hand Up Housing of Arkansas, Santa is now stable. Donald Williams and his wife started Hand Up Housing 10 years ago.
It came out of a need of homeless people needing a place to go, and so we offer classes. We call it holistic, so it's faith-based. Or we say we accept people like God does until God can get them where they need to be.
The nonprofit currently has 3 fully furnished houses in North Little Rock. Clients just pay a small fee to live there. The goal is for them to complete the program within a year and move out into their own place, which is what Bernadette Reynolds did in 2014.
Because it was such a struggle being homeless and not having people to encourage you or back you up or lift you up to support you as you're trying to go forward. I wouldn't be where I am today. I might have been dead if it hadn't been for Hand Up Housing.
The life-changing work isn't going unnoticed.
Rainwater Holton section presents this $1,000 check to Hand Up Housing. Thank you for making a difference by providing temporary housing needed by persons trying to find a new life.
Hey guys, I'm Ashley King with Fox 16. Many of us are staying home right now to be safe, but I know there are a lot of Arkansans who are looking for a job, and we want to help you out. Just go to fox16.com, go to the community tab at the top of the page, and go down to job alerts. There you will find listings that I am constantly updating to keep you informed and to help you find a job. Remember, we are in this together. Job alerts on fox16.com.
Because community matters, Arkansas is second in the nation for food insecurity. Now that the holidays are here and we're still in the middle of a pandemic, the need is greater than ever. So today we are hosting our Food for the Holidays telethon, asking you to help your neighbors that you might not even know are in need of help. Mandy Knoll is joining us live at the Arkansas Food Bank this morning, and that's where volunteers are working to make sure no Arkansan goes hungry. Mandy?
It all, but I never knew I was blind. I traveled the world trying to find some peace of mind. I didn't know what a poor man's heart could hide. I should have stayed by your side.
Victory over violence. Digital Town Hall. A conversation about race in Arkansas.
Welcome to our Victory Over Violence Digital Town Hall, Policing in Arkansas, Trust and Accountability. I'm Donna Terrell. As we've seen in the last few weeks, the conversation on the state of policing in America is shifting. The protest, the movement has sparked changes here and around the country. It's an emotional topic that tackles the question, how do we mend the relationship between the police and the community? Tonight, our focus is on communities in Arkansas. Joining me for this town hall are attorney Richard Mays of Mays Burden Associates, who is also a former state Supreme Court justice, Jamie Cook, secretary of the Arkansas Department of Public Safety and a member of the newly formed Governor's Law Enforcement Task Force. Chris Danford is a member of Grassroots Arkansas, a protest group. Wesley Peters, also a protester, and runs a nonprofit called Conducting Creativity. And Sergeant Willie Davis with the Little Rock Police Department and head of the OK Our Kids program. I want to thank you all for joining me for this.
Time to time, I have to force myself to take a moment. This has been one of those weeks. You kicked off with the shooting of a 10-year-old girl. That will set you back on your heels, and it should. Another story was about a 10-year-old who died. The parents are facing charges. There were other shootings and other deaths. There always are. People often say to me, I don't watch the news. Too much violence and tragedy. Yes, there is. Just another day at the office, right? Well, yeah, and there are good days and there are bad days, and yes, it gets to each one of us from time to time. But when we open up the window to these things that we show you each night, we don't want people to slam that window shut and draw the blinds. We do it in part hoping people will see these things through the window, go to the door, and take a step toward change. We try through our Victory Over Violence campaign. The people and kids we've reached, you'll never know about. You'll never hear about them. You won't see their mug shots, hear about
about their crimes they committed, they or their parents saw a chance to walk through that door toward change. They know who they are, and we should be proud of all of them, and we are. We also ran a story this week where the mother of a young woman who was murdered talked about the last time she spoke to her. And she said this: "Don't forget, when you see your child, tell them you love them. It could be your last words." Great advice. Yes, accidents tragically do happen, but when we're losing young people, children, to gunfire, abuse, and neglect at the hands of another, if we all haven't tried to change something out there, we all own a piece of the bad. If we try and encourage doing the right things, helping, not hurting others, and working to make a better life for yourself and others, the view out that window we open up each night will never force anyone to reach for the blinds. Take a moment.
Some stories are more than just a headline. They require more digging.
Why do we have to pay the millions of dollars in medical bills?
More questions.
The department keeps refusing to turn over their own personnel files.
Alerting you to scams.
Have you ever come across this before?
Unfortunately, I've seen it many times.
And finding truth behind the rumors.
As the posts spread, more departments are now involved.
When you need answers, Fox 16 investigates.
It all comes down to something as simple as someone's birthday. Juveniles being tried as adults are not protected by their age in the court's eyes, but they are when it comes to Vine. Some victims and their families found that out the hard way. Flipping the switch to shed light on a terrifying reality.
These were two people who, could have died.
This person doesn't want to hide in the shadows, but feels forced here, trying to mask their identity for their safety.
You never know what he's capable of doing.
They're afraid of 16-year-old Eric Hall, who's charged with shooting two people they know and is now out of jail and threatening the victims and their families, who say they never got a heads up about his release.
We feel like, of course, the system has failed.
Every Monday, we'll dig into an unsolved Arkansas mystery. Cold cases, missing persons, unsolved crimes. Alongside detectives and prosecutors, Mitch McCoy takes you inside the police investigations. Monday Night Mystery, a digital original on fox16.com.
Share, engage, interact with journalists joining us live from multiple cities to weigh in on trending stories. Streaming live on KARK.com or the KARK app.
The biggest story that everyone is talking about, the corona.
Newsfeed now with Aaron Nolan. Hey teachers, would you like some help with your lesson plan? KARK is here for you. Each Wednesday, meteorologist Hayden Nix will teach students something new about weather.
So let's get started with this and talk about something fun.
Since he can't come to you, join him in his virtual lab on KARK.com.
I want to provide you with something that's a little bit different.
He'll introduce a new weather lesson, engaging students in the science of meteorology. New episodes online every Wednesday at 1 p.m. Get your weather fix with meteorologist Hayden Nix.
Oh, there it is! Oh my goodness, the odds were not in our favor there, but it actually worked out. In 3, 2, 1.
I can already feel it.
There you go. That's it! Building that pressure up, okay. And eventually, there. See what happens.
Okay, I'll let you go first.
When schools closed, we decided to open books and read to kids.
The 7 silly ears.
KARK and Fox 16 are partnering with the Little Rock School District, keeping kids connected to the classroom through online learning. We're all in this together.
I've gone through school for 13 years and all I wanted was my graduation and the end of my senior year.
The class of 2020. You didn't ask for this.
It's not normal. They will remember this for a lifetime.
You didn't see this coming.
Really proud of him. He's really done outstanding and really proud of what he's achieved.
All those years of hard work turned upside down.
Graduation is always the last time that all seniors are together for one last time.
But this is your year.
I've waited 12 long years for this, and it feels great.
And today we're here to celebrate you.
The class of 2020.
But as this pandemic unfolded, so many of our friends and family had to give up so much to stay safe.
But for all of our graduates, this year ended like never before.
And we wanted to take a moment to celebrate you, but to do that, we knew we needed some help.
So we reached out to some of our friends, some of the most well-known people in the state.
We asked them to take a moment and help us honor you and all the time and dedication you put in for so many years. We begin with one of the most recognizable names in Arkansas.
She's starred in some of the greatest TV shows and movies of our time: Elf, Step Brother, Orange is the New Black, and most recently, Sunday nights on NBC's Zoe's Extraordinary Playlist. Actress Mary Steenburgen is here to get us started.
Hello, class of 2020. I'm Mary Steenburgen. I wanted to reach out to you to congratulate you and to say that we're proud of you in this moment in time for graduating in a way that you never thought that you would.
From the Victory Studios in downtown Little Rock, this is Capitol View.
And good Sunday morning to you. Welcome into Capitol View. I'm Jay Burr. Well, an interesting phenomenon with the Arkansas State Lottery. In the month of December, the lottery had record instant ticket sales, but the dollar amount going to scholarships actually lower than the previous year.
We're going to make history.
We're still in the battle for the soul of America.
From the debate stage to the campaign trail,
Get out to vote.
The presidential candidates have fought their way to Election Day.
Florida goes blue. It's over.
We are going to win Florida. We are going to win 4 more years.
A historic election the whole world is watching.
All we want America to be united again.
We're doing better now than we ever did.
With a pandemic taking center stage,
what I see across Arkansas is a new level of seriousness.
Early voting smashing records nationwide.
Long lines were a big theme all across the central part of the state.
And mail-in ballots flooding into the U.S. Postal Service.
This is the most important election in the history of our country.
We're going to change the course of the country and, quite frankly, the world.
All eyes are now watching as the vote plays out. This is your local election headquarters.
Polls in Arkansas close in less than 30 minutes. Thank you for joining us on Fox16.com and KARK.com on this election night. I'm Donna Terrell.
I'm Kevin Kelly. We will be with you throughout this historic night, online and on air, bringing you the latest numbers and more.
Remarkable women. They inspire us, they lead us, they make a difference in our lives. Tell us about the remarkable women in your life. We want to share their stories.
KARK is searching for the remarkable women of Arkansas. Go to KARK.com and nominate someone special.
And what's so amazing too is, since you are so remarkable, out of 100 people, 100 women in Arkansas, you get to donate $1,000 in your name on behalf of the station to an organization of your choice. And so tell us who you chose.
I chose the Salvation Army.
Now it's time for Fearless Friday High School Football Awards Show with the power of FearlessFriday.com. The best runs, the best catches, the best interceptions, and much more. The Fearless Friday Awards Show starts now.
2020 was a year like no other, but we still had high school football. Tonight, we take a look back at the best moments of the season. It's the Fearless Friday Awards Show, Run of the Year, Catch of the Year, Play of the Year, and much, much more. Plus, we have the Mitch Petrus Award. Tonight, we honor the memory of a former Razorback, a Super Bowl champion, and a friend. Mitch Petrus loved football and he loved life. He walked on at Arkansas from Carlisle High School. Mitch eventually earned a scholarship and a place in the NFL. He won a Super Bowl ring with the New York Giants and returned to Arkansas after his career was over. That's when Mitch joined the Fearless Friday team. He was a highlight in a highlight show. Tragically, we lost Mitch to a heat stroke in July of 2019, but tonight his memory lives on. For years, Mitch wanted to do a postseason award show, and tonight we bring you the second annual Fearless Friday Awards Show. It looks different tonight due to COVID, but the show must go on.